Hey there, you're listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, and MMA on occasion. Here's your host, RJ Carbone.
And a high drive into left center field. Stanley's going to watch another one fly. Are you kidding me? DiVincenzo a three. Bang! Bang! Knicks take a
Take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
At the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Mr. Nova.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down and the game is tied.
Rose, you shook up the world again.
I did it again. But God did it, man. I really just had
Gonna have to. Brunson running away. Oh my! He has been the best player to put on that uniform.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Okay, well, was that the best one of the season? No, it was a nice. It was nice to win. I'll put it that way. I will put it that way after two losses that just shouldn't have happened the way they happened. But you know, and this game was on its way to being an easy scrimmage for the Knicks. Until kind of the third quarter, early third quarter, and they were up, 33 points or something like that, the Knicks were. They let go of the gas, and I'm starting to think, am I going to have to do another podcast where I'm just talking about the state of the team? Because that's what we did last episode. For 15 minutes, we were here, we left. We just discussed for 15 minutes the concerns amongst Knick culture. And it was headed that way for a little bit in the third quarter. They were up by 33 points, I think. And they let the Wizards go on a 42-17 run. So the lead diminishes to 4 points. And then the Wizards, they're like, oh shit, we're supposed to be tanking. So they take Marcus Smart, knocking down shots like Kobe, take his ass out of the game, put their rookies and sophomores and youths in, and then the Knicks make their final statement when the Knicks put their starters back on the floor, and they end up winning the game 122-103. So in the end, a blowout victory, but certainly didn't have the feel of one for a little bit there. But it's going to be a shorter episode again, just because how much can you really pick apart in a win against the Washington Wizards? It was a boring game until it wasn't. But, still, it's so hard for me to get into these games, especially without Jalen Brunson on the floor. But speaking of, Campaign got the start last night with Deuce McBride also out. And I think he's going to be out for... I don't know, he's day-to-day. So the Knicks, for whatever reason, we're letting Campaign get those. I mean, I'm not going to... Tibbs is so traditional to where, just because his point guard's out, the backup point guard has to get those on-ball reps. It's just a very fixated way of thinking. I was kind of hoping Mikal would get those reps early on. Now, again, credit to Campaign because I thought Campaign helped up the pace and not just take 3-point shots, but distribute looks to get 3-point shots up, and 3-point volume is important on this team. But I did like how eventually, as we got closer to the second quarter, Mikal Bridges started to get featured a lot more. And I liked in this game how the Knicks used Mikal. They used him a lot in ways that you want to see him get used. Drop and switch beaters, right? His first basket of the game, this was in the first quarter. early on. He gets a handoff into double pins to get the big switch. Eventually, it becomes a catch-and-shoot corner because Sarr is on him, but Sarr's in paint help to stop an OG drive. OG makes the driving kick. Mikal knocks it down with the open space provided with the switch. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. He knocks down another three-pointer with Sarr and drop off of a broken play. 2 minutes left in the second quarter. Switch beater. It's a Kolek Mikal pick and roll split action, right? So Mikal slips the screen into the short roll. Kolek finds Mikal mid-switch for an easy basket. And then a minute and change left in the second quarter, another switch beater. Sarr pre-switches off the ball, but nobody follows through with the switch to Mikal, so he's left open in the corner, knocks down an open three off of a late close. And then with about a minute and 8 seconds left in the second quarter, a drop coverage beater. He attacks Sarr and drop off pick and roll with Mitch, gets to an easy blow by reverse layup. And so that's how he got his offense in that first half. And that's going to be key for Mikal. As we've discussed, it's very important to get Mikal Bridges off-ball looks with his momentum going towards the ball. This way he can attack drop coverage with a full head of steam and get to his spots with a little bit of momentum. So I liked the way he got his touches last night. He finished with, I think, 27 points. But I'm going to hand the game ball to Karl Towns. I thought Karl Anthony Towns was fantastic yesterday. 31 points, 11 rebounds, shot 10 for 13 from the foul line, was a plus 20 across 37 minutes. He now has 17 game balls on the Knicks. That's third on the team, second among the starting unit behind Jalen. And I thought Cat was good. The Wizards weren't really cross-matching a ton. Most of the game, Sarr was on Cat. So I was hoping the Knicks would have spammed those Towns pick and pop three-pointers with Sarr and drop coverage. You didn't get a ton of that. There was a lot of posting going on, a lot of two-point looks, which you don't love. But later in the game, it got a little bit better in terms of Cat getting off some three-point looks. Once you got to the second quarter, he took a couple. Fourth quarter, he took a couple, but it just wasn't consistent enough for me. Because that's where you want the Knicks to get three-point volume from, right? Cat's going to have to be aggressive whenever he does get the opposing center on him. Because when he gets the wing on him, we know he's going to prefer to drive. But when Cat has the big on him, the big's going to be in drop coverage. He's going to give him that space to take the three. So you need to spam those pick and pops and get him in action so we can get those open looks. But again, I'm not going to... He scored 31 points. The Knicks won the game. They scored 120 points. And Sarr, size-wise, is no match for Towns. So Towns was able to drive through him consistently with success. And he got to the foul line 13 times. So it was a good game for Cat. But I really want to talk about who I'm going to hand the game ball to from the second unit, and that's Tyler Kolek. That was fun. Tyler Kolek last night, the numbers aren't amazing, but he had 8 assists, 3 steals, was a +5 in 18 minutes. It's his third game ball of the season. Listen, every time this kid gets an opportunity to play, he shows them something. And last night, I really liked the passing that he was displaying. He had some pick and rolls, but some DHOs, transition finds, split actions, weak side passes. His vision, we mention it every time he plays, his vision continues to impress me every time. The reads that he's able to make are really impressive. He's consistently able to find open shooters aggressively and get them the ball when and where they want the ball. And that's going to help the Knicks. We talk about the Knicks needing to up their three-point volume and take less twos, more threes. Kolek's important for that because he's so efficient at seeking out shooters on the perimeter. You know, last night he was seeking out Mikal Bridges, seeking out OG Anunoby to get them three-point looks. And himself, he's got good three-point gravity because he's a good catch-and-shoot threat. Right? He's a standstill shooter, so when he's off the ball, the defense is going to have to respect that. So I like the passing that he was displaying. You know, and you know, when young players, Knicks fans, whenever a young player, a rookie doesn't get much time, has a breakout game like this, I shouldn't call this a breakout game, but has a game that he looks good in, are going to go to the extremes, right? And they're going to say this kid should be in the rotation, and even with 15 or whatever, however many games are left in the year, he should be a lock for the Knicks, and he should be in their playoff rotation, etc. Like, there were a lot of probably irrational takes last night on Twitter, I'm sure. There is still a lot that's left to be desired. There's a lot of room to grow and develop when it comes to Tyler Kolek. He still has to develop a pull-up three-point shot. He still has to work on a floater game because his point guard skills in the half court, he still needs ball screen actions. He still needs pick and roll, right? If it's not in transition, he needs a ball screen in order to get paint touches for those driving kicks. So that's what I'm going to be looking at in terms of his development going forward. He's got to, point guard skills wise, he's got to show a little bit more if he wants to develop into a rotational player. But I do think he deserves to get more playing time. I think if Tibbs wants to keep his job, he should be trusting his youth more. Maybe that's a little extreme, but he should be more flexible, more creative. For as long as Brunson is out, he should be going to this kid a lot more. Because when your other options are Landry Shamet, Precious Achiuwa, etc., like, come on. Kolek has shown up every opportunity he's gotten. He's averaging 12 points, 7 assists per 36 minutes. Like, I think he should be a solution. Not a solution, he should be an option. If you were to ask me, I would have considered putting him in the rotation and expanding what's been mostly an 8.5 man to a 9. Yeah, I would have done that a while ago. But Tibbs is comfortable with guys who he knows has a high floor, and usually it's the veteran players who have a high floor. And so Kolek hasn't been in the rotation because of that. But we're at a point in the season where there's been a lot of discourse about the minutes and about the rotation patterns and about, certain lineups that are and are not sharing the floor enough. And I think without Brunson, this should be a kid who gets a look. You can't coach with fear. We spoke on that last episode. Coaching not to lose is completely different than coaching to win. And Tibbs, a lot of the time, coaches not to lose because he'll prefer to put a lineup out there that's doubling down on size, even when sometimes it calls for more spacing, putting more shooters on the floor, spreading out the half court. No, I want my size. I don't want to risk getting beat on the defensive end, even though if the metrics don't back up what his theory is, he's still going to go to it because it's just a comfort thing for him. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. I thought Tyler Kolek was good last night and deserves more looks. And so that's it. That's all we got. We're going to head to break real quick, get back. This will be another short episode once we start. We're really just waiting for the playoffs at this point. And of course, whenever it is that Brunson returns and whenever it is that the Knicks play more competitive teams on their schedule to close out the year, we'll start diving into the details again. But some of these games just, So we'll be right back. And when we return from break, we'll talk about what's up next on the schedule and then wrap it up from there. Stay with us. BD4 is available on social media for those who want to follow. You can find BD4 on Instagram at BD4Pod. You can find us on X at BD4Pod. And you can find us on Facebook by simply searching BD4. Hey guys, just a quick reminder, this podcast is also available in video format on YouTube. So be sure to go over to the YouTube channel, BD4, subscribe, like the videos, comment, and tell me how much I suck or maybe how much you like the video. We'd very much appreciate it. Don't have time to sit down and watch a video? You can listen to BD4 on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And you can also watch the video format on Spotify too. If you feel like supporting the podcast, you can Venmo at Robert-Carbone-JR-28. We really appreciate your support. Do you enjoy Yankees baseball but are tired of hearing me yap? I have a suggestion for you. Go check out Yankee Crazy Podcast. Greg Gill is a Yankees podcaster on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and he's now selling merch. Go to yankeecrazy.myshopify.com. Stay connected with us. Visit BD4blog.com to explore our blog, tune into our latest podcasts, and follow us on social media. Thank you for being a part of this community. Okay. Welcome back to the show, episode 832 of the podcast. Knicks defeat the Wizards 122-103. 122-103. Somehow did not feel like that. But with that said, we will wrap this up. We will. We'll get to our trivia in a sec, but let's take a look at what is upcoming on the schedule here. We have today off. We've got tomorrow off. And then the Knicks will head back out there Tuesday, Wednesday. They've got a back-to-back set, Tuesday and Wednesday, both at the Garden to wrap up their homestand. Tuesday, they've got Dallas. Wednesday, they've got the Clippers. So those are two teams they need to beat, especially the first one. And that's what's up next. Hopefully Brunson's back at least to play the final 5 or so. If he's back for the final 5 or so games, man, that is a win as hell. That's a win as if I've seen one. I'm telling you, like I said at the time regarding Brunson, I'm still going forward, not expecting him back until the postseason. But if he's back with 5 or so games left, maybe more. It sounds like they said he's going to be reevaluated in 1 week. 1 week, they'll see where he's at. He's out of the boot, so maybe I'm like being way too pessimistic, and maybe he's back well before 5 games left. But yeah, hopefully he's back soon. That's what we want. But in the meantime, yeah, keep giving Tyler Kolek these looks. His minutes have been productive. I'm kind of over Landry Shamet, so Precious Achua, I'm over Precious. So that's yeah. Dallas Tuesday, and I'll see you then. So thank you all for tuning in. Let's wrap this up with our trivia. Okay. So for this episode 832, true or false question. True or false? The Knicks have 3 former Wizards on their current roster. Is that true or false? True or false? The Knicks have 3 former Wizards on their current roster. Let me know the answer. That's all we got. Appreciate you all. See you soon. Well, if you made it this far, that means you listened to or watched the entire episode. Thank you. Just remember to follow, subscribe, download, rate and review, and all that fun stuff to help out the podcast. And I will see you in the next episode of BD4.